Welcome to all of you for poverty alleviation programs and policies of the government. In the previous video, we had been seeing what is poverty, how to identify poverty, and what are the causes of poverty. Keeping all these in mind, once the poor are recognized easily, we can understand the causes. Once the causes are understood, we can bring remedy. The remedy means that programs to alleviate poverty. How to cure this illness of poverty. So these programs all were brought in order to alleviate poverty or reduce poverty in India. Both the Indian Constitution and 5-year plans envisaged developmental strategies to bring social justice with the aim of social justice. To quote from the first 5-year plan, that is from 1950 to 56, the urge is to bring economic and social change. The urge means the need of the hour is to bring socio-economic changes. And the present condition comes from the fact of poverty and inequality in income, wealth, and opportunity. So, in the present condition of India in 1950 to 1956, if you see, the fact is poverty, inequality of income, wealth, and opportunity. This has to be removed as a condition. And the second 5-year plan also points out that the benefits of economic development should reach or should benefit only more and more to the relatively less privileged classes of the society. So the government of India brought forth many poverty alleviation programs. In this direction, the government has multiplied or renamed many poverty alleviation programs. Some of them has been assimilated. Some programs has been bifurcated or divided into various small programs, or small programs are joined together or assimilated together to bring a new poverty alleviation program. So there are many programs that the government has introduced from 1950 to present times. And some are been dysfunctioning or some have been continued. So the important functions, important poverty alleviation programs we will see today. The government has brought many poverty alleviation programs. We can't study all of them, but it can be divided under 3 dimensions. The government's approach to poverty reduction can be studied under 3 dimensions. The first dimension that is here is growth-oriented approach. The second dimension that will be discussed in the same video is income and employment generation approach. The second approach is income and employment generation approach. The third approach is providing minimum basic needs to the people or providing minimum socio-economic needs or benefits to the people. So the 3 approaches are like this. The first approach and the second approach and the third approach each can be, from the examination of point of view, a 4 as well as 6 marks questions. Please keep in mind. The first question that comes to you in the form of this way. What do you mean by growth-oriented approach? To reduce poverty. Why it is not successful in India? So the answer is very clear, but the clarity has not been given. So it is a poverty alleviation approach. First point. So last point is it is not successful. So what are the reasons for not getting successful? All these are discussed in this video. This approach is first among all the 3 approaches the government has started in poverty reduction. it is the first approach in reducing the poverty in India. And this approach was introduced between 1950 to 1960, early 1960s. So it is during first 5-year plan to second 5-year plan. This growth-oriented approach worked between 1950 to 1960. The main objective of these two plans, or between two 5-year plans, was to bring economic growth. How to bring economic growth is the question mark. The question mark can be answered by increasing GDP and per capita income. So how GDP increases? Once the resources are completely and efficiently utilized, there will be no room for unemployment as well as underemployment. So all the resources are efficiently and well utilized, the GDP grows, as well as each person's income also increases. When each person's income, that is per capita income, increases, surely it reduces poverty. So the approach also felt that this growth should be brought in underdeveloped regions. The underdeveloped regions as well as backward sections of the community. So they should get benefits. So how to bring this increase in GDP and increase in per capita income? So that can be brought by rapid industrialization and green revolution. The government undertook these two steps to increase GDP as well as increase per capita income. That is rapid industrialization as well as green revolution. These two things are brought. So more people are getting employed and more resources are engaged, and the GDP grows, per capita income grows. But unfortunately, the plan of the government did not turn well or did not bring such progressive success. It ended up in a failure. The plan ended up in a failure, or the approach ended up in a failure, because the attempt was not successful because of rapid growth of population. Rapid growth of population. This is the first problem. The fast growth of population because of high birth rate and low death rate happened between 950 to 60. And the second one, to bring agriculture or rapid growth in agriculture sector, that is green revolution, the land reforms has to be implemented well. So lack of proper implementation of land reforms. So these two things were brought together to bring the success story into a failure story in the growth-oriented approach. So it further brought a problem, that is widening the gap between the rich and the poor. So thus, agriculture and industrial sector did not make much progress. Instead of a successful approach, it became a failure approach. This is an answer for the growth-oriented approach, meaning as well as the failure. The next approach is income and employment generation approach. This approach can be divided into two parts. Self-employment programs, and the other one is wage employment programs. Now, the government thought, instead of increasing the GDP or per capita income, we will provide employment to the poor. So that is through wage employment programs. And next, increase the assets of the poor, or give them the funds or assets or capital to start an employment for themselves. That is through self-employment programs. So the program was initiated or started from third 5-year plan. The program was initiated in the third 5-year plan. It is to progressively enlarge employment opportunities to the poor. So, once the employment increases, the income of the poor increases, as well as the income creating assets also will be added. The income and the employment of the poor could be increased through creation of additional assets and by working generation programs. So the second approach was towards increasing self-employment as well as wage employments. So thus India can slowly remove poverty. The first part of this approach is called as wage employment programs. Wage employment programs. First program under that is National Food for Work program, which was launched in 1970. Next one is Sampurna Gramina Rozgar Yojana, that is SGRY. Sampurna Gramina Rozgar Yojana. And the third approach is very important, or the third employment program is very important. Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act, that is MGNREGA. So, which was launched in August 2005. This MGNREGA, there is a 1-mark question as well as 2-mark question. The full form and when it was implemented. MGNREGA provides a guarantee wage employment. It provides guarantee wage employment for how many people in the house? 1 person in the house. For whom? For the adult volunteered person. Only for the adult volunteered person will get wage employment. So how much? How many days they will get wage employment? It is for 100 days. Or more than 3 months. Why it is for 3 months? Because Indian rural unemployment will be during a seasonal wise. Only in certain seasons they don't get employment, especially in summer, because the agriculture is very, very less in summer because of water inadequacy in India. So that time the rural landless labor should get some employment. The government introduced this programs of 100 days of work. What kind of work they give? Manual unskilled labor. Adult volunteer will get manual unskilled labor for 100 days. So each household gets a person's employment for 100 days continuously. So because of this, many rural families will get substantial income to alleviate poverty in a slower manner. By 2013 and 14, nearly 5 crore households got employment opportunity under this program. How many? 5 crore people according to the government records. Don't ask me really how much. Next one is Rural Employment Generation Program, REGP. Rural Employment Generation Program was also introduced to provide employment opportunity to the rural people. Next one, National Rural Livelihood Mission. National Rural Livelihood Mission, that is NRLM. Next one, National Urban Livelihood Mission, NULM. So National Rural Urban Livelihood Mission, National Rural Livelihood Mission, NRLM, NULM. So all these launched in order to provide employment opportunity for urban as well as rural poor. This programs all wants to bring employment opportunity to the rural poor, and by providing employment they will get substantial income for their work, and thus the poverty in rural and urban areas can be removed slowly. Next one, that is B, self-employment programs. Now these programs will be aimed at providing employment opportunity. The government will not provide direct employment. It will provide a financial assistance to the people, to the poor people, by providing them a loan through the commercial banks or through banks. The loans will be provided at a lower rate of interest so that the poor people can take the assistance of these loans and start their own employment so that the poverty can be reduced in those areas. The first program under that is PMRY, Pradhana Mantri Rozgar Yojana, PMRY. Next, this program was to bring self-employment in rural area, not in urban area. This PMRY is specially for self-employment and to bring Rozgar or employment under self-employment under rural area. Next one is SJSRY, that is Swarna Jayanti Shahari Rozgar Yojana. Swarna Jayanti Shahari Rozgar Yojana, SJSRY, that is to bring self-employment program in urban area. So there may be questions for rural employment self-employment program as well as urban. Name the rural self-employment program, that is PMRY. Name the program which brings self-employment in urban area, that is SJSRY. Both the programs provide financial assistance in the form of bank loans to set up a small industry or small scale industry or a cottage industry or bring any economic assets to generate income. Next program under this self-employment program is SGSY. SGSY, that is Swarna Jayanti Gram Swarozgar Yojana. Swarna Jayanti Grama Swarozgar Yojana. This program was implemented through self-help groups. It is a homogeneous of nearly 20 members formed among the community. They will get the financial assistance as well as savings. For the savings and the assistance can bring as financial stability. These finance can be mobilized among themselves to assist their needs by themselves at a lower rate of interest or at no rate of interest. This is the self-help groups operate, providing financial assistance for self-employment. So these are the programs the government implemented in order to bring self-employment to the rural poor. The last approach is programs that provide minimum basic amenities or facilities. So by providing socio-economic basic needs, the poor can alleviate poverty. This approach is to tackle poverty by providing minimum basic amenities or facilities. To whom? To the rural poor or to the urban poor. The government of India is trying to achieve this objective through various public expenditure on social consumption needs, providing food grains at subsidized rate. Food grains at a subsidized rate, we get food grains at 1 rupee per kg, or at no price we get ration. So this is the program to provide that. Next one, education, health, water facilities or water supply, sanitation to improve the standard of living. All these to improve, the government makes an expenditure. These goods are public or social consumption goods or public consumption goods. By meeting the social consumption needs of the poor can acquire better skills, better knowledge, and become a more employable, skillful human beings so that they can get their own employment in the future. This is the understanding of the government. So once all these facilities are provided, the standard of living of the people can improve. This approach tried to supplement the consumption of the poor and create employment opportunity to improve the level of health, education, skill, etc. This approach commenced in the fifth five-year plan onwards. Fifth five-year plan onwards, the government implemented this program. The fifth five-year plan has an opinion, or the Planning Commission has an opinion, even with expanded employment opportunity. So already employment opportunities have been increased because of employment programs and wage employment programs, self-employment programs. The poor will not be able to buy for themselves all the essential goods and services. So they have to be supplemented. They should be helped, supplemented up to at least certain minimum standards by social consumption and investment in the form of essential food grains, education, health, investment in the form of essential food grains, education, health, nutrition, drinking water, housing, communication and electricity. All these, when you provide, when these all social consumption needs are met by investing on all these things, the poor can be supplemented. So poor can slowly come up by alleviating poverty to join the mainstreams of life. So first, the major programs under this is to provide basic minimum facilities are the first is to provide food grains. So there are three programs which aimed at improving the nutritious status of the poor, the food security of the poor. So one is PDS, Public Distribution System, PDS. So through fair price shops, the government has established a fair price shops to give at a very high subsidized prices to the poor the food grains, the essential food grains to each family, so that they can acquire minimum nutrition as well as food security. Next one is Integrated Child Development Scheme, that is ICDS, Integrated Child Development Scheme. The third one is a midday meal. We all have seen in the schools the children will get afternoon meal on the midday. Next one program that is aimed at providing basic infrastructure in rural areas as well as in urban areas also. That is Pradhana Mantri Gramodaya Yojana, Pradhana Mantri Gramodaya Yojana and Pradhana Mantri Gram Sadak Yojana. So Pradhana Mantri Gram Sadak Yojana makes an infrastructure of road facilities. So every village having a population more than 500 will be connected to state as well as national highways under this program. Next programs are to bring house, so shelter facilities to the poor. So provide shelter to the poor. That is Indira Awas Yojana. This both in the hilly areas and flat areas, different levels of subsidies are provided to construct shelters for the poor. And Valmiki Ambedkar Awas Yojana, that is to build toilets as well as houses in backward regions, especially where the SCs and STs stay. And Basava Vasati Yojana, especially this was introduced in Karnataka. Vasati means it is a shelter. The other programs are to provide social security measures, providing social security measures. So social security programs we can call it. The first program under that is National Social Assistance Program, that is NSAP. NSAP, it is National Social Assistance Program. This was initiated by the central government to give pension for elderly people, not for the younger people, only to the elder people, not to all the elderly people, but only to those elderly people who do not have anyone to care, anyone to look after, anyone to take care. For them, these elderly people will get a pension. So even destitute women means women who have nobody to look after. So a widow woman, so the widows also get under this the pension. In Karnataka, it is renamed as a Sandhya Suraksha Yojana. Sandhya means it is the program that was introduced in Karnataka in the same National Social Assistance Program to provide some benefits, financial benefits to the elderly poor people. Aam Aadmi Bima Yojana, it is to provide insurance to the head of the rural landless family. So, insurance facility will be given to the landless family, not to all, only to the head of the family. Next program that was also introduced is Yashaswini Yojana, provide health insurance to the rural poor in Karnataka. The other programs also we have heard, that is Bhagya Lakshmi Yojana. It is to provide financial support to the female child which is born in a poor family. So all these programs we have heard in order to bring social securities to the poor. So with that, we will end the video.